Good afternoon and welcome to the Indie Boomer Show. We are glad to have you here this afternoon. I want to make sure everybody has gotten a copy of the July issue of the Indie Boomer with the Wright brothers on the cover. You can pick them up at the libraries. You can go to indieboomer.com and get a digital version there as well. And today I would like to welcome our guest, Wesley Young.
Hello.
Hello. He is with Senior Solutions Consulting, and we're going to be talking about, he writes a column for us called Money Matters. We do different topics in the Boomer magazine, topics that we believe that baby boomers in Hamilton County would be interested in, and that is one of them. So I'm going to kind of turn this over to you, Wesley, and say, tell me about Senior Solution Consulting and what you guys do.
Well, we're a company that does veterans benefits and Medicaid benefits. Mm-hmm. I've been doing it for about 13 years now, and these are benefits that help folks that are older in age that pays for in-home care, assisted living, and nursing homes. So we focus in just that area.
Okay. And one of the things, and we've talked about it on the show before with some other folks, but tell me about the veteran aid and attendance and how important that is to a lot of folks in.
Yeah, that is a great benefit that came across several years ago with my uncle who was in an assisted living and was having lunch with him one day, and the two guys sitting at the table with us were talking about their veterans benefits, and I said, well, what are you guys getting that my uncle's not getting? And they introduced me to this thing called Veterans Aid and Attendance, and it's a program that provides money for folks who need help. If you need some in-home care with us getting through your day, it provides up to $759 a month for a veteran. It provides up to $1,130 for a surviving spouse of a veteran, as long as they were married to the veteran at their time of death, at the veteran's time of death. And it provides a little over $2,000 a month for a couple if they both need help, and one of them was a veteran during wartime.
Okay.
And that money it's money paid directly to the veteran and or their surviving spouse. It's paid to their checking account. Mm-hmm. They can spend it on really whatever they want, usually in home care, assisted living, and nursing home. But very few people know about it, and it really can be the difference between getting in-home care or being able to move to assisted living or not.
Exactly. I know my folks, if they hadn't had the veteran aid and attendance, they wouldn't have been able to afford to move into the retirement community. Tell us, I know that it's a very complicated form. It's not something the average person would probably be able to do on their own to get it through the hoops, shall we say, through to get it processed.
Right. And I always say it's kind of like doing your taxes. You know, most of us have been doing our taxes for years, and we're not tax experts, but we understand what a 1040 and a IT-40 and all of those forms are. Mm-hmm. But the VA has all their own set of forms, and we also have some proprietary forms that we've created over the years too to make it a little bit simpler. And yeah, if you don't have the right numbers in the right box, for example, they want to know your Social Security amount, but they don't want to know what you get in the bank. They want to know what you get as a gross, which also has a deduction of $104.90 for Medicare, and you might have a Part D premium for your drug plan deducted out. And, if you just put in the gross amount, they'll send it back to you and say, well, you didn't give us the correct amounts. And every time they do that, it may add 30 days to get a letter to you telling you messed up, 30 days to respond. Then they got to match it up and keep going until they find the next question. And now, so that's where you hear the stories that it took me a year to get the benefit. Well, if you think it takes 60 days every time they have to stop and ask you a question or respond and get an answer from you.
It takes them another 30 days to get that.
You're into a year pretty quick. So, so our goal is obviously to make the best, tightest, neatest, complete application that we can, so that that they don't put it down, that they process it as quickly as possible.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because I need some clarification on it. My understanding is that attorneys, you don't have to have, somebody has to be certified by the VA, right?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Again, it's like doing your taxes. Anybody can fill out the application. You just need to know how to do it. Now, obviously, if there's any kind of powers of attorney involved or trusts or wills or anything like that, attorney has to do that.
Okay.
If there's any finances or monies that are going to be moved, it always helps to have a CPA or a tax person give their advice before things get moved. That's always kind of a caution. But no, anybody can fill it out like a tax form and send it in. Right.
Okay, well, that's good to clarify that, because I was under the understanding that it had to be an attorney that was certified by the VA, and they couldn't charge you to do it. They had to do it pro bono. So that's a good clarification. Did not know that.
No, anyone can do it.
How is Senior Solutions Consulting different from, say, an attorney or a financial planner or that kind of thing?
This is all we do is veterans benefits and Medicaid. So,
Okay.
Your financial people obviously invest money, and their job is to earn as much money for you as possible at the risk
Right.
level you choose.
Okay.
Your attorneys do, I always say the attorneys are like doctors. Some work on eyes, some work on ears, some work on feet. And we're all specialists, they're all specialists in different areas. And the more areas they work, maybe the less specialized they are in certain things. So I just specialize in the aid and attendance program and Medicaid for nursing homes.
Okay.
So that's it. That's all I do all day, and that's all I've done for about the last 13 years. So I do it from an insurance and a financial standpoint. If we need an attorney, we call one and bring them in.
I was just
If we
gonna
need
say,
a
would it be
CPA, we
fair
call
to-
one and bring them in. Absolutely, because that's what they do best.
Okay, I understand. Well, tell us, and maybe, a little bit, because I definitely do not understand Medicaid at all. I don't
You're
know.
not the only one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know too many people that do. But can you give us some pointers, some ideas about that? Or
Yeah.
what people should know?
There's a lot of things. Medicaid does a lot of things. They do the women, infants, and children. They do food stamps,
Yeah.
TANF, cash assistance, Medicaid waiver for in-home care and assisted living. They do a lot of things. But what I deal with is nursing home Medicaid. So
Okay.
that's when I think of Medicaid, I think of nursing home benefits for Medicaid.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that Medicaid is going to take everything from you. Just in some of the articles we wrote, there's some myths about Medicaid's going to take my house, my car, and all my money. So I better keep my spouse at home as long as I can, even though we're both falling down and not eating right and getting our meds mixed up, because Medicaid's going to take everything, and that's absolutely not the truth. Medicaid's rules allow a surviving spouse to keep a home and a car and up to $117,000 of savings
Oh, really?
without really even having to be aggressive and pursue the finer rules that are in the book. So there's a lot of things that you can do to qualify for Medicaid. It's not just for the poor, it's for people who qualify.
Well, I think there's a lot of myths out there, or a lot of misconceptions.
Oh, absolutely.
That people don't know and understand.
And people think Medicaid is going to come and take stuff from you. Well, about the worst thing Medicaid can do to you is not pay the bill at the nursing home. Well, then the nursing home's going to get agitated with you and want to move your spouse or loved one out. Well, that's an issue you got to deal with. I mean, the bill has to be paid.
Right.
But no, Medicaid is a program that is great for helping to pay nursing home benefits. And back in 1989, they passed the spousal impoverishment rule, mainly because most men of the generation of our parents and grandparents made the most money. It's not uncommon for a
Right.
man to make $2,500 and a wife to make $600. Well, if the man goes to the nursing home and his income goes with him to the nursing home to help pay his bill,
Right.
how's she going to keep that house up and the car and all that on $600? Well, if she goes and he's got $2,500, well, he's not so bad off. Well, in '89, they passed a law that allows house, car, certain amount of cash. You can even pull certain income back from the nursing home spouse to the community spouse to be able to make the playing field a little more level for the spouse.
Wow.
So
So Medicaid's actually pretty hip.
it's a great program. It's a great program. You just have to qualify. There is a 5-year look back.
Okay.
So don't give your stuff away thinking you're going to hide it for Medicaid, because if it's 5 years from the time you apply for Medicaid, they have the right to ask you what you did with it. And if you lie to them, it's Medicaid fraud, and we don't
No,
want
don't
anyone to
wanna
go
go
down
there.
that route. So
No.
do not hide your stuff. There's plenty of legal ways to protect it.
Not at all. Hey,
So-
we're going to take a quick break. We will be back in a couple of minutes, and I'd like to talk some more about this Medicaid.
All right?
Thank you.
Have you ever gone into a store and demanded that you pay the full retail price as opposed to the advertised sale prices? Not likely. I mean, everyone likes a good deal, right? Well, what if there was a way that saving money could be fast, fun, and profitable? Intrigued? Well, it's a new program from Paid to Save that uses a model called incentivized sharing, and it's super simple and totally cool. And here's how it works. Step 1. Save money. You can download our mobile app for free from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Our app is designed to save you money all over town by listing the deals, steals, and coupons of local merchants and the big box retailers like Target, Best Buy, Sears, and Walgreens. Step 2. Share the savings. Our app has viral tools allowing you to instantly invite all of your friends to download our app and share in the savings. Step 3. Make money. As your friends go around town saving money, you'll be making money. At Paid to Save, we know how to say thank you, and we do it by paying you a percentage of all commissions received from all the people who've downloaded our app as a result of your sharing. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. And as your friends tell their friends, and their friends tell their friends, there are opportunities for you to make even more. So go ahead and download our free mobile app so you too can start getting paid to save today.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street Signs and Banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Indie Boomer Show. Mary Pat McKee here. I am the publisher of the Indie Boomer magazine, and I showed you this in the first half. Hope that you were able to pick up a copy of the July issue of Indie Boomer with the Wright brothers. Great story about those guys. Been playing together for 42 years. Hard to believe. Really excited, though. We've got the next issue, September issue, coming out. About the second week of September, we will have Patty Spittler. And, boy, what a great gal. She's got a lot of good stories, information, about her Pet Pals TV show, and also about some disability of her hearing loss that she's dealing with in her life. So look forward to that. Also, something I did not do, and I should be in big trouble, is I did not thank the Logan Street Signs and Banners and Hamilton County TV and Movies in the Park and all the great things that Jim Wofford does for the Noblesville community, and really appreciate him giving us the opportunity to have the Indie Boomer Show. So I am sitting here with Wesley Young. We were talking in the first half of our show about VA benefits, the VA aid and attendance, and also the Medicaid scenario, mostly for nursing homes, right?
Right.
Okay. We're going to talk more about that. First thing I'd like to ask you, though, why would somebody come see you? What's an ideal client for you?
That's a good question. Somebody who should call us to have an initial consultation would be somebody whose parent or loved one is starting to need some help. So,
okay. Before they get behind the 8 ball, right?
Yeah, we work very closely with some doctors' offices. So if somebody comes to see me and they say something's not right with mom or dad, we will send them over to one of the geriatric doctors who will say, mom and dad has the first signs of dementia, or mom and dad has their diet isn't right, or their meds are screwed up, or something to cause them to have some issues. So anybody who's really getting older or having some health issues now or in the near future. So that would be somebody that we could start to prepare for in-home care, assisted living, ultimately nursing home care, because you really want to catch somebody and get them in-home care so they can stay home longer. Everybody wants to be home.
And that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, a little bit of in-home care would help with the shower because there's a lot of falls.
Yeah.
Keep the meds straight, get the nutrition good. Us men aren't good at cooking, so we may open a can and eat out of it for lunch and eat the rest of it for dinner. Well, that's not really good nutrition for somebody.
No.
So anybody with an early sign of dementia, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's diagnosis says, well, dad's okay to be home for a while. Yeah, but you know what? In 4 or 5 years, he's going to need full-time care, and if something happens to mom, he's going to need nursing home care. And that's here in Indiana, it's about $230 a night for a nursing home. And I always ask my clients, would your folks spend $230 a night on a hotel room? And they're like, no. Well, they're going to spend that every night for the rest of their life, and mom still has to live in the house.
Well, let me clarify that. When you say that, are we talking about assisted living, or are you talking about 24 skilled
That's
care?
24-hour day skilled nursing care.
Okay.
Now, assisted living in Indiana probably starts around $3,000, can go up to $5,000 a month.
So you're still $100 a night, basically.
Still $100 a night.
Could be more.
Which is usually more than most Hoosier couples make. I mean, an average Indiana couple may make $2,500 a month. Well, when the bill's $3,200 for assisted living, the first thing us men is, Mabel, get your purse. We're going home. We can't afford it, but they may need it.
Right.
So if you call me and I'll say, hey, maybe we can get $1,700 more or $2,000 more from the VA. Now that $4,500 makes $3,200 look real good.
Exactly.
So let's go back and have that conversation about, is assisted living a viable thing, and try it. They're always month to month. If you don't like it, move back home or go somewhere else. But it's nice to have the meals prepared, and I really like it from the social aspect that
I agree.
This past winter, how many folks that were single stayed at the house at the end of that long driveway all winter long. It was dark from 4 in the evening till 10 in the morning. Nobody's coming to visit with the snow.
Right.
Versus being in assisted living, you walk out in the hallway, you go play cards, you go have
Yeah.
lunch, you have a conversation.
Yep.
Right?
I totally agree.
So at least give it a try and make somebody's life, a full, rich life to have versus sitting in that house. I want to be in my house. Well, it's not safe. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's
Well, safety tends to be one of the first reasons that people start looking at their folks and saying, "Hey, this is not safe." As far as the car, I know.
Oh,
Again,
absolutely.
It's not safe for them to drive anymore, especially with Alzheimer's. They drive somewhere and forget how to get back home. I saw that with
they
my
end up in
father.
Ohio
Yeah.
at the gas
No,
station.
and that's too bad. We don't want them ending up
That
in
happens.
Ohio. No,
Right,
too
right,
sad.
absolutely. So the VA benefit is a great program for that. My rule of thumb is if you think you need in-home care or assisted living, VA is a great way to go because it's $1,000 to $2,000 a month depending
Yeah.
on mom or dad, and that helps pay the bill. If you're looking at a nursing home at $230 a night, we're talking $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year.
Yep.
The VA benefit's not going to put a lot of dent in that. It'll make your money last a little longer than it would have, but you're
Right.
still going to run short.
Well, is that when you have to spend
That's
down?
when we look
to-
at Medicaid.
Okay. Yeah.
And our success as a company, I will tell you, if you have a healthy spouse, which is somebody living at home or even in assisted living, but just not a roommate to dad in the nursing home, I can save 100% of your assets. Mm-hmm. If you're a single person, I can save at least half. That's home, car, cash, everything you have, I can save at least half. Because otherwise you have to spend down to $2,000 in assets to
In
get
total
any help.
assets is all you can
Not
have?
income, assets.
Wow.
No house. Now you can't keep a car in Indiana, but the most amount of cash you're allowed to own is $2,000 to get any help with Medicaid. Well, if I can save half of $100,000 versus spend down to $2,000, do you want to work with me or not?
Right.
Right. So that's what we're able to do with the rules on the books,
Right.
and we're completely honest with Medicaid. So
Well, and I think, it's just really important that people get ahead of this situation with their folks if they're in good health, because that way they can help make some of the decisions.
Absolutely.
So it's not the children that are having to come in and make decisions for their parents that they're not really sure.
And thanks to your magazine, I've gotten a lot of calls from people who want to get information because they didn't know about it. A lot of people call the VA and say, "My husband is not doing well. He was a veteran. Is there any benefits?"
And they say,
"Well, they put you to VA disability," and they say, "Was he injured in the war?" "Well, no, I don't think so." "Does he make more than $1,500? "Yeah." "Well, you don't qualify." Well, that sends the spouse away saying the VA isn't going to work for me, but that's one of 1,500 programs.
right.
The aid and attendance program would have said, "Well, gosh, does he need some help? Does he have some health expenses? Do you have anybody in the home?"
They got to know the right person to call.
That's the whole difference. And who would think to know to ask for aid and attendance?
Right.
I never heard of it.
Well, I think it's the best kept secret
So
around.
it is a good secret.
It's not a good secret to keep, but I just know because I was like you, I heard somebody saying that they were getting these the money from the VA aid and attendance, and I said, well, how do you do that? And they weren't really sure because their brother or somebody had done it, and I called people and I asked people who were in the service, currently in the service.
They don't know.
They don't know either.
I've had
So-
career military people go, "That doesn't exist. I've never heard of
Yeah,
that benefit."
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah,
So they
fantastic
need to know
benefit.
you, basically, yeah.
And the process kind of is the VA benefits always start on the first of a month. So everybody I'm working on right now is going to be a September 1. I
Okay.
average about 18, 20 apps a month I take down to the VA office here in Indianapolis.
Oh, do you? Okay.
We go over it with the caseworker. They file stamp it, date stamp it. I get the copy of all the application papers stamped. Then they send it off to Milwaukee to be approved. Our approval times have been 3 weeks to 2-3 months. So we've been very, very fast.
Really?
And they
That
do
is
pay
very
back to date of
fast.
application.
Right.
And you don't have to keep receipts. You don't have to keep track of the money you spend. Once you
normally
qualify,
when
you're
you-
pretty much good to go.
But when you submit them, then you're not getting them kicked back saying, "Oh, we need this information," or
One
low
out of
percent-
1 out of 10 or 12 will say,
Okay,
"Hey,
that's
by the
what I was
way,
looking for.
we lost a piece of paper, or we needed this or that." But no, they usually go through pretty quick.
Okay, well that's good to know.
So-
So when does a person know that it's time to sign up for Medicaid or to do the Medicaid thing?
For Medicaid is when you think there might be a nursing home stay involved. So anytime you think that someone's got, like I said, a diagnosis of Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, or the death of a spouse, where mom and dad were both 85, they were leaning on each other. I always say mom can hear, dad can see, so together they can make it. Well, if
Yeah.
one of them dies,
Yeah.
right? How's mom going to make it? So
Right.
whenever that are just up in age, because people live long enough, they may need that kind of care. So it never hurts to help consolidate and do things like you said, while the parent's still here to help.
Right.
Because once somebody's died, now you have to be executor of a estate and all those extra added things. So yeah, anytime you have questions about any type of health issue, we never charge anybody to meet. We'd be happy to go to the house, meet with all the family.
Yeah. That's probably best to have all the family there.
Yeah, just get information. That's the best thing, because coulda, woulda, shoulda is really expensive, and once the money's gone, I can't help near as well as I can when you still have something. And I would say an average client of ours has anywhere from $50,000 to $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. So don't think you have to be indigent to do any of this.
Okay, that's good information. Hey, I want to thank you, Wesley, for coming today. Like I said,
Thank you.
great information. Looking forward to you have. Let's see, you've got more information about the VA in attendance coming out in September's article,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
So anyway, hey,
Yes.
thanks for joining us today. Again, thank you, Logan Street Signs and Banner, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Have a great day.
Thanks.